Hey, I think we're live on all platforms. Hello, everybody joining. How are you joining on TikTok over there and on YouTube? I want to chat with you all tonight. I want to have a nice chat with you about the verification plans that Elon Musk has for Twitter. So we're just going to wait for some people to join the two streams, and we'll have a chat about it. Will you be paying for it? This Twitter verification. Hello, everybody joining. Oh. All right, we're live on Twitter. We got the comments there. That's good. All systems go. Hello, Loops. How are you? Hello to everybody joining me. Yeah, I want to have a chat with you, or if you're joining and watching at the moment, I want to have a chat with you all about the about Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter and the plan he's got to open up the verification to anybody who can prove who they are, and talk about the pros and the cons of that. There's only a few people at the moment in the streams. Wendeline76, good evening. You watching the madness in America? Yeah, it's kind of strange. I assume you're talking about the the voting system in America. Failing all the time. They can count 63 million votes in a commercial break on American Idol, but whenever it comes election time, they can't they can't seem to count a ballot. Hello to everybody in the chat on YouTube. I'm going to be talking about Twitter verification. What do you think in the chat on YouTube? What are you going to be paying? Because Elon Musk has opened it up to everybody for $8 a month. As of, I think, tomorrow, they're going to be rolling it out on Twitter. Yeah, Elon Musk is going to charge people for using Twitter, says Barakas. No. There's some confusion over this, actually, so I better explain it. On Twitter, if I just show you Elon Musk's thread here, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can see here Elon Musk has got a tick next to it. Tesla's got a tick next to it, and some people have got ticks next to their name and some people haven't, and that doesn't mean that you're a verified person or not. My missus actually thought it just meant that you're verified, you've proved who you are to Twitter. That's not the case at all. For you to be verified, you need to be a person of note. You need to be a famous person, basically, or have some reason why you could say to Twitter, I am a person of note, you need to verify me, my words are very important. It's kind of like a status symbol is how it's been used in the past. I saw somebody the other day with a blue tick, a very prominent person in the UK, saying that his blue tick, his verification badge on Twitter is useless. It's of no importance to him. It's of no use to him whatsoever, and it hasn't helped him at all. To which I would say, balderdash. You may not think it has any weight if you're verified on Twitter, but it does to other people. Other people assume you are a person of note if you've got that blue tick next to your name. You get much more interactions on your posts, you get more followers, more people reply to anything you say, more people are interested in anything you say. And that's the way verification has sort of been used as it's almost like a class system with Twitter, you know? And it's going to change, and I want to talk about it because there's a lot of liberals who are getting their panties in the bunch at the moment about this and saying they're going to leave Twitter, they're going to leave the platform. And I've got a sneaky feeling that it's because that they've realised they're not going to be the upper class on the platform anymore. They're not going to have, you know, their voices elevated over people like mine who aren't verified. I was actually going to check something earlier. My friend Fiorella over at the Convo Couch, she does some work for RT recently, and she's been labelled as Russia state affiliated media. This is Fiorella Isabel from the Convo Couch. You can see there she's been labelled by Twitter Russia state-affiliated media because she does some work for RT. But look, they haven't verified her. And there's plenty of people like this. They're important enough to label, oh no, you're Russian state-filled media, but they haven't verified them. Isn't that weird? Don't you think that's arbitrary and not right? Kind of. It's not fair, is it? Alex says the bots have made it a bind to use currently. Yes, I agree with that. The bots on Twitter are a huge problem. And this is one of the reasons why Elon Musk is going to be doing this. I want to take you to a thread by a guy called Yoel Roth. And he's the main man at Twitter when it comes to, disinformation, etc., etc. And Elon Musk basically says, if you've got any problems with hate speech, and this is the guy to go for. So he's done this thread today on why they're doing this verification at Twitter and the purposes behind it. So I'm going to have a read of this thread and give you an overview of what it's going to cost $8 a month. This verification is, by the look of it. So Yoel Roth says this: verification, impersonation, Twitter blue. There's a lot going on around identity on Twitter. Let's break down what our policies are and some of the big questions we still need to answer. He says, first of all, impersonation has always been banned on Twitter. Misleading profiles make Twitter look worse for everyone. Last year we were banned more than 500,000 accounts for impersonating people and brands. I've got a feeling that he's talking about this because Kathy Griffin changed her name to Elon Musk on Twitter, and that is just totally against the rules to impersonate somebody else. So she got banned. She was already saying that she was off to Mastodon anyway, so she's done it for totally, self-elevating reasons. But here Yoel continues and says, parody has long been recognised as an important form of speech, and we have clear, long-standing guidelines about how to operate parody accounts on Twitter in a non-misleading way. And he says this: when verified accounts use impersonation as a tactic, whether a parody or not, it creates an especially confusing experience. It's been our long-standing practice to suspend verified users when they do this. I've got a feeling he's, like I said, he's talking about this because they banned Kathy Griffin, or at least she was suspended for a short while yesterday. The plan changes to Twitter Blue to make verification more widely available, raise the stakes for this kind of impersonation. Here's what we're going to do about it. So this is their plan. They say in the short term, we'll ramp up proactive review of blue verified accounts that show signs of impersonating another. When we find them, we'll suspend them. See something that looks off, you can report it directly to the app. So that's what they're saying about the impersonation. Now, not only the Kathy Griffin thing was a problem for them in the last couple of days, but also a lot of people were saying you're just going to have parody accounts just impersonating other people with a verified blue check mark. And this is what they're trying to say. No, that's not going to be the case. He continues and says, we're particularly focused on the risks of impersonation of public officials in the context of the US 2022 midterm elections, and have made the decision not to launch verification for Twitter Blue until after Election Day. Long term, I think we need to invest more in identity verification. And this is the key. It goes to your point, my friend, on TikTok, when you talked about the bots on Twitter making it difficult to actually use at all. He says, long term, I think we need to invest more in identity verification as a complement to proof of humanness. Paid verification is a strong but not perfect signal of humanness, which helps to fight bots and spam. But that's not the same thing as identity verification. This is very true. If you can, and I said this to the missus the other day, if you could link payment of this verification to somehow verifying you as a person, so whether that be a PayPal account or some sort of wallet where you have to verify who you are to get access to that. And remember, Elon launched PayPal, so he'll know the ins and outs of workings on it. If they linked that together, that would eliminate a hell of a lot of the problem with bots. Bots won't be able to get verified. I mean, they will be able to if they really want to, but it's going to be very, very costly. There is one caveat to that I'll talk about in a bit. He continues and says, for years, verification on Twitter has been tricky because it's a signal both of authenticity, you are who you say you are, and notability, you're important by some standard. This is the problem I had with the person the other day who was saying, oh, the verification badge on Twitter has never helped him at all. Rubbish. Of course it has. For people that didn't know who you are, if you've got a blue tick next to your name on Twitter, you're more likely to have people click on your name to see who you are and to read your bio, etc. You're going to get more follows, you're going to get more likes, you're going to get more interaction. You know, that's the way it's been historically anyway. And by the way, they didn't verify Julian Assange on Twitter at any point. So that should give you an idea as to how tilted their verification system was. I mean, who's more famous a journalist than Julian Assange? And they wouldn't verify him. He used to have to put a little diamond next to his name when he did have a Twitter account. That's before they took it off him. Not Twitter, that was, but the powers that be. Notability is inherently difficult to determine in a fair way globally. I support getting rid of it. This is really true. You know, if for somebody like me who's got 6,000 followers in the UK, that's nothing really. It's not a lot at all. But if you've got 6,000 followers and you're in Burkina Faso, you're going to be a much more of a notable person in that country than you are in here. No offense to Burkina Faso, I'm just picked a small country. You see my point. Yoel Roth continues with this. Proof of humanness is more straightforward. Most spam fighting is a numbers game. Your objective is to raise the costs on spammers until their losses exceed their gains. When you do that, the spammers go away and you win. $8 per account raises the cost of spam a lot. I'll talk about this a lot in a minute. Let me just complete reading this thread. He said it's not just the $8 though. This kind of in-app purchase requires bad actors to get through not only Twitter's defenses, but also those of mobile device manufacturers and payment processors. Yes, this is key. That's not impossible for a sophisticated adversary. No, it's not. I used to get around the verification on Facebook all the time. Not verification, but to prove I was a person just with some fake IDs. And he says, but it's hard to do at scale. Yes, it is, but if you're a state actor, it will be much easier and it will be much more valuable to you to have 10,000 verified bots on Twitter if you are a state actor than you would if you were a spammer. It would be extremely costly to have that amount. But obviously, if you're a state actor, money's no problem. And he completes this thread with no solution to identity is perfect, and we're iterating quickly to come up with the best approach here. We appreciate all the feedback and we'll share more as our work progresses. So what do you think about this? There's a good and bad side to it. If you're watching me on YouTube, I don't turn my ads on YouTube. I don't monetize my content on YouTube at all. And people might think that that's a bit backward, but there's a reason for it. My missus was watching one of my videos one day and it cut to adverts. This is going back a couple of years. It cut to adverts and an advert came on for something that I vehemently oppose. I mean, to my bones, I oppose what this advert was for. I won't say it was for at all. If you're a long-time subscriber, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I vehemently opposed it. And it's extremely difficult to stop adverts you don't want on your channel being put there. And obviously, if you're talking about a touchy subject, then states have a lot of money to spam channels like mine with an opposing view, shall we say. So I switched it off. I don't believe that the ad-based subscription, the ad-based sort of template for news is ever going to work. I think the best way to go with news is a paid subscription model. And this is what Twitter looks like it's going to do. I've heard reports that all the advertisers are fleeing the Twitter platform because of Elon Musk's takeover. And obviously they've been losing, and this is a staggering amount. You'll be incredible. They're losing $4 million a day at Twitter, or they have been. Riddle me this. How can a company losing $4 million a day be worth $44 billion? Can somebody explain that to me? Because I can't quite figure that out. But anyway, he's paid for it, and Elon's the owner of it now, along with his backers from Saudi Arabia and what have you. And it looks like they're going to change this verification to a subscription model. There's two things that are going to happen here. Well, two or three things I can see. First of all, the liberals who have been having it good and have been having their posts elevated, either by people just clicking on them and liking their posts because they're verified, etc., and having their posts more widely seen. But also, these people with verification, I've got a feeling that a lot of their likes come from bots. And if they're going down this avenue, the days of the bots on Twitter are going to be gone, almost. The caveat I've got is the state actor. State actors would pay to make a persona up and pretend it's a person, because obviously they're using bots at the moment. We've got our 77th Brigade over in the UK. Every country has got them online, and I did a video a couple of days ago about a massive bot operation that's been uncovered by an Australian research team at Adelaide University, Mathematical Science University or something like that. And it's massive over in America. The New York Times aren't talking about it. They're talking about a tiny little Russian account that they've found. But the bot problem on Twitter, this verification will get around a lot of that. So my question is, will you be paying for verification? Will you? Who in the chat is going to be paying for verification on Twitter? Before I tell you what I'm going to do, what do you think? I don't have Twitter nor Facebook, says Mark P. Thick Owl, and I think that contributes to keeping my sanity. I think you're right. Screw Google says, smash that like button. Yeah, smash that like button, everybody. Thank you, Screw Google. A Random Jack says, this bird does not tweet. So it doesn't look like many people are going to be using the verification system. What about... It doesn't look like it, no. It looks like everybody's just saying, no, not a chance, not going to pay for it. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to, as soon as I can, I'm going to get verified on Twitter. I never tried to get verified on Twitter. I never bothered. And the reason is because I thought there's too many bots and what have you on Twitter, etc. I don't want to go down that route, and I don't really have the time to be jumping through hoops for them. But now it's a level playing field. I don't mind paying. And that might sound, I don't know, really weird, but I'm going to pay too, says Kinky. Good for you. Why not? I mean, if you can verify who you are, why shouldn't you be verified on Twitter? Now, for me, Twitter is a useful tool. It's, a lot of journalists feel that way. It's a micro-blogging platform. So for a journalist, it's a great source of information, great sort of links. If you follow the right people, you can get all sorts of information in a very short space of time, just scrolling through in a morning. So it's a useful tool. I wouldn't be leaving even if I wasn't getting verified. But I think I'm going to. I'm going to give it a shot. $8 a month seems reasonable to me, especially when, it's not going to be an advert-based platform anymore, so they're not going to be shoving ads down your face. And who knows, if they start making money, they might actually sort out the bot problem. Jenny Lynn says, I don't even care about being verified now while it's free. Well, here's the thing, Jenny. I didn't either. I didn't really care about being verified either, so I never tried. And I'm not saying that I would have been verified anyway. I don't have that massive a following, like 6,000 subscribers on Twitter, 18,000 on here, 100 and something on TikTok. So probably what, 150,000 subscribers across like 2 or 3 platforms. So maybe I could get verified if I tried, but I'd never bothered. But now the tables are turning. Now it's a little bit different. Now it looks like people are going to be on a level playing field. Now it looks like if you can prove who you are and you want to get verified, you can. And then when somebody's interacting with you, or when you're interacting with somebody else with a verification badge, you know you're not going to be talking to, or you know the chances are you're not going to be talking to a bot. At least the chances are are much less than at the moment when it's just a free for all and anybody can have an account on Twitter if you've got an email. This could be good. It could be. But I will add to that. This is Elon Musk. He's a billionaire. I don't think there are any good people who are billionaires in the world. You have to know how to cut corners and be awful to your staff. And I'm not saying that Elon Musk is some sort of savior and bastion for free speech here. He's not. He's not a big supporter of a free press, really, although he says he is. I've never heard him utter the words Julian Assange or WikiLeaks. Have you? People who don't talk about that, I kind of had a hard time thinking that they are fighting for free speech if they're not talking about Julian being locked up in Belmarsh and the ramifications of that to a free and fair media, both in the US and the UK. This is going to get rid of a lot of bots, like they say, and it's going to ruffle a lot of feathers. And also, you've got to add into that, people are going to come back onto it. I'm pretty sure Donald Trump's going to get his account back. Alex Jones will get his account back. I didn't realize until the other day, but Jordan Peterson was banned. So Jordan Peterson, now all these people will now be able to come back onto the platform. It's a useful piece of place to go and to get links of what other people are doing. Like I say, it's a micro blogging platform. If you use it like that, it's a useful tool. I'll be getting verified when it rolls out, maybe tomorrow. What do you think? Mick Brown says, don't Twitter did have Facebook, cancelled it 6 years ago. Then got a few photos sent from family in South Africa 2 years ago. Obviously, you cannot delete. Yeah, I don't think they delete this stuff. I think it's there forever. Have you ever got your... I don't use Facebook. I deleted my Facebook years ago because of the amount they store on you. Have you ever got your information from Facebook? I was on there a few years and the information they take from you is insane. The amount. Who does mention Assange? Hitchens? That's about it. In this country, sadly, Alex, of the mainstream journalists, Peter Hitchens, I'm struggling now. In the mainstream. That's about it, really, isn't it? Yeah, Peter Hitchens. That's about it. None of the others do. Good point. So Kinky's going to get verified. Jenny Lynn says it definitely changes the game that everyone can get verification now. Tons of people were denied, mostly anti-imperialists, a check mark, and there was no legit reason for it. This is a really, really good point, Jenny. I know Richard Medhurst applied for verification and he was turned down by Twitter. and he's got like 100,000 YouTube subscribers, etc. Probably the same as me. And he was turned down, and he had to appeal it before they gave him the check mark. Other people, like my friend Fiorella, she's labelled as Russia state affiliated media, but she hasn't got a check mark either. I'm wondering if Caleb. I don't think Caleb was Caleb Maupin. Has he deleted his Twitter? Has Caleb deleted his Twitter? I think he has. Yeah, he had Russia state affiliated media stamped on his account as well. And I don't think he was verified either. And I think that's really unfair to say that you're prominent enough to be labelled an enemy of the state, but you're not prominent enough to be given a verification as you're a prominent person that people listen to. Caleb did have one, I believe. Yeah, I thought so. Am I spelling his name wrong? No. Yeah, I think he's deleted his Twitter, you know. Unless he's got a really weird Twitter handle I can't remember. At real Caleb Marpin. Yeah. Ah, here we are. Yeah, he deleted his account. He was a different account. He's deleted his account and started again because he was labelled Russia affiliated media. He wasn't verified. It's not fair, is it? It's not fair. It got deleted after 30 days, says Kinky. Okay. So Danny Haifong has been denied several times, I believe, says Screw Gooley. It's not right, is it? Danny Haifong is one of the sources of information I go to whenever China's in the news or I need to find out something about China. He's an excellent source of information. So for him to be, it's real arbitrary. As this guy Jarl Roth was saying, it's arbitrary the way they used to do it before. You know, if you were pro-establishment and you were pro-imperialist and you were pro-empire, no problem. You'll get a verification tick very quickly, it seems. But if you were an anti-imperialist, like somebody in the chat just said, I don't remember who it was, but if you're anti-establishment, you're much less likely, I think, to get verified, aren't you? So it's a real... it's not fair. It hasn't been fair for a while. Caleb Marpin took some personal time off social media, just did a new stream, says Fred Edward. Yeah, I heard of that. I heard he took some personal time. It's glad to see him back. I watched one of his live streams the other day. But it certainly looks like he's deleted his Twitter and started a new one, because I wasn't following this new one. It's not right that somebody like him wasn't verified either, and I'm pretty sure Caleb would have attempted to be to get verified. I'll have to ask him about it. Thank you, Jenny, for talking about that. Trump or Biden, says Wayne 21. Neither way, neither. So $8 a month. The only people who are going to be able to afford, spammers aren't going to be able to afford that. I've talked about bots before. I had bots myself when I was an internet marketer before I started doing this in 2016. 2015, 2016, I was in control of almost 1,000 bots. Almost 1,000. It gets extremely technical. You have to, first of all, you can't run them really from your computer at home, because you want anonymity. So what you do is you rent out a server in another country, and then you upload everything to the server and have the bots running from that server in batches on a 24/7 basis. And you have on Facebook, it was about 200 accounts you could get away with on each server. And you have to have software for the bots to run on, tell them what to post, etc. I'm trying to think of the word it's called, the cause now, but I used to write scripts for my bots, and you put words in, so they pick the random words and random things to say to make them look like they're real people. It's very difficult to distinguish a good bot from a real person if you're good at writing scripts for them, which I was. Like I say, I had 4 servers with, I think, up to 200 bots on. That's 800 bots. Now, if you imagine, that's 4 servers costing, what, $50 a month? There's $200 a month for the server, for the servers for them to run. Then you've got another $10 a month for the software to run the bots on. So there's what? So there's $250 a month, say. Then you've got, if you've got 750 proxies, so 750 bots, you're going to need 750 proxies or 1,000 proxies at $1 a month. That's pretty much what these proxies run on, because you need an anonymous proxy where Facebook and Twitter, etc., can't immediately say, oh, that's a bot. Look, he's calling from, he's actually working in Iceland when he says he's in America when his IP address is actually in Iceland, that sort of thing. So you've got anonymous proxies that you have to hire as well. And then there's, other people that you have to hire if you want to, if you want verification to, or sorry, not verification. If you want a driving license for them, you get driving licenses made for them. So if ever you do hit the ban hammer on Facebook with a bot that you've had for years, you can complain to Facebook through that bot, and Facebook will say, well, you need to send to us proof that you are a person. So you send them this fake driving license. They can't distinguish between what's real or fake. They can't check the address or anything like that. But you see the expense. You can see how much the expense is going up and up and up and up. And if you add on top of that $8 a month if you want to be a bot on Twitter, and then you've got to get round the payment processor, the PayPal problems as well, to try and, it's going to be a nightmare for your average internet marketer. Like I say, the people who will be able to afford it en masse are state actors. And that article that I talked about the other day, there were 1.8 million accounts that were sharing pro-Ukrainian stuff at the start of the Ukraine conflict and the invasion of Ukraine. 1.8 million times 8. If they're bots, and they have to get verified for anybody to speak to them, for anybody to interact with them, that's an exorbitant. That's like $12 million a month or something like that. That these state actors are going to, if it's a state actor, they're spreading that misinformation, and I'm sure it is. It's extremely expensive. I think this is a good move. We'll see whether it saves Twitter or whether it ends up dying in a ditch as a result of it. I'm pretty sure that it's going to survive and it'll be okay. And I've got a feeling that it might be a little bit better after this. That's my feeling on it anyway, because it's a cesspool right now. As the gentleman in the chat on TikTok said right at the very beginning, you can't get through the bots. It's insane the amount of bots there is. And if you remember when Donald Trump was on Twitter, Donald Trump would make a tweet, and within a minute, that tweet would have like 1,000 replies, all from bots with pictures and memes, etc. And you can tell that these bots were just programmed. Whenever Donald Trump tweets, the bot whacks a tweet right there. And people couldn't distinguish between what was a bot and what wasn't. I mean, obviously, some of these accounts got huge reaches as a result of it. It's going to be way more difficult to do that if they can't verify who they are. And especially as Elon Musk has said, if you get verified, you're going to get priority, not just in the replies, but also people who aren't verified. They're going to be, it's going to be much hard. They're going to be much less visible. I can see why people are upset about this and can see why people are worried about it. And the jury is out, but I will be getting verified on Twitter the first chance I get. What's that in pounds at the minute? $8. It's about £6, something like that. £6.50, £7, something like that. All right, I just wanted to do that little video talking about this and to see what you people think. But it seems that you're pretty much split on it. Some people are saying I'm not going to bother, and others are saying, yeah, I'm going to give it a go. It's split, much like on Twitter. We'll see how it goes. I'm on the fence about whether it will be a good thing. We'll see. I'm worried about Elon Musk's ties to the security and intelligence state. But he's not going to be getting too much information off me that he's not getting now, just by me being verified, or they're not, rather, because it won't be him. They're going to be the CIA, etc. And Twitter is much better. Well, Twitter doesn't track you half as much as Facebook does. Facebook's just a spying apparatus for the CIA, as far as I'm concerned. We'll see. I'll be getting the verification. And I'll let you know how it goes. Let's take a couple of questions. See if you want to talk about this or anything else at all while I'm here. Still too much for me. It's still too much for me. It's £7 a month, says Dylan. Money's so tight, isn't it? Cost of living. It's not the cost of living. It's cost of corporate greed that's pushed the prices up. Since Lizzie's gone, the pound is doing it better already. Well, I mean, to be fair, Dylan, it couldn't do much worse, could it, after Liz? I know people were like, oh, Rishi Sunak saved the pound already. Well, I mean, I still don't think he's really... It's doing better, but for how long, I don't know. For how long? At least Elon is slightly nervous about a massive nuclear exchange, says Kinky. This is true as well. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other with him. His links to the government and the intelligence services, etc., and obviously all the contracts he's got with the CIA and NSA and, you know, Starlink. It doesn't bode well for whether he's one of the good guys or not. When he obviously, and obviously if he causes them a problem, there's a lot of sticks there for them to beat him with, isn't there? You know, if he, this is not going to be good for the intelligence services. The intelligence services like the fact that you can't verify who you are. They like the fact that you can be anonymous on Twitter because they can have their bot farms pushing out misinformation and disinformation like, you know, internet marketers can only dream. I've said all along, you could solve this quite simply by just making sure that anybody who has an account on your platform is a real person. And you can do that via verification via a bank. I've said it for a long, long time. Here's Elon Musk doing what I've said for a long time, and I'm still like on the fence, and I'm not sure whether it's going to be a good thing going forward or not, just because I don't trust billionaires as far as I could throw them. But I'll pay for it, and we'll see how it goes. The good thing about it is, as well, all of the liberal blue check marks on Twitter who I detest are up in arms about that. And that can never be a bad thing. They're really unhappy. And I've got a feeling that it's because, you know, they're only going to be classed as the same as the plebs now. You know, the same as ordinary people whose opinions don't really matter. Now, their words are only as good as the plebs, aren't they? That's why a lot of these people are freaking out. That's what I think anyway. Jay Love says, hi Gordon, Putin thanks you for your hard work. Okay, cool. Tell him to send some money my way. I'm skint, Jay. Yeah, I'm doing this for free. Putin loves your hard work. Why? Because he loves the truth. Stephen King got in a huff, says Kinky. Elon should be paying me, not the other way around. Well, you're using his platform. And I heard somebody said the other day, you know how, like, Twitter's free for you to use? Well, that's because you're the product. They sell you to the advertisers, you know? Doesn't this mean now that you're not the product anymore? That the product is going to be Twitter because you're going to be paying for it? It's worth thinking about, isn't it? All right. I'm going to go, everybody. Thank you very much for listening. Sign up to my mailing list if you haven't already. You'll get a notification of whenever I go live. I go live at sporadic moments, just whenever I'm ready. So yeah, go to my website, sign up for my mailing list, and you'll get a notification. I don't spam you with crap or ask you for money over and over and over. Just yeah, just send you notifications of when I go live, so you won't miss me. When are you getting a new PM? Says Robert Hickey. Well, we've had 3 in the last 5 minutes, so sometime soon, no doubt. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to get off. Have a good evening. Support independent media and take care. Buona Ostente, everybody.